Hi folks, this is the Maineprepper, and we're going to be doing our gear review today on the Grylls Gerber Survival Sharpener. I'm showing you this first shot of what it looks like when it's new in the package, and yes, I did buy this myself. In fact, all the gear here I either bought or by some method like issue I own. Nothing is given to me by someone to review. I really don't want to be a gear reviewer. That's not where I'm headed. Instead, I will be doing gear reviews in support of what I believe is my channel mission here, which is to teach you the necessary things that you need to be good preppers. That is, to be trained, to be equipped, to be knowledgeable, to be motivated, and to have the proper mindset overall. And I hope that I will succeed in that, because my wish for you all is that you don't just endure the days ahead, but that you thrive and that you prosper and that it is well with you and that you are happy, and that we get past this doom and gloom aspect of things. So I will flip this over for just a second. First, on the front, it's two pieces essentially to the kit: holster and the sharpener itself. And on the back side of the kit, there are some basic instructions that show you how to use it, and a little booklet that you can carry around, a pocket guide to survival. So we're going to break in these three items and look at them. But the sharpener itself is a two-piece, and we'll talk about this in just a second. Hi folks, Maineprepper, welcome back. And now I've got it out of the package. It comes with three things in the package. Let's talk about the first one, which is kind of a little gimmicky deal that they threw in there, and that is this little survival pocket guide. It's a single page, 11 by 11 sheet of paper. Fold it up, fit in your pocket. It won't fit anywhere inside of the case, not if you want to just wad it all up. But it is a glossy paper. It'll probably hold up in your backpack somewhere. If you're new to camping and whatnot, this is really kind of neat because it's got some very basic stuff. Almost a little primer, if you will, to get you started. And it talks about lean-to, shelter, starting a fire, signaling, and gives some of the reason of the importance, and some knots you can tie, rainwater collection. And reading through this, I agree, it's all accurate. It's good information. I recommend, however, that you get yourself a really nice survival manual. And just so happens we have survival manuals here that I'll be reviewing, but not today. Today we're going to talk about this sharpener. With any product that has got a name brand on it, you have to understand in marketing, when you're selling things, you have to get people to endorse certain things. It helps to sell your product. And so Grylls has endorsed this blade, and for some reasons. And now he has, as with anyone that has celebrity, he has some detractors and supporters. The detractors, whenever someone is making a detraction, if the detraction is based upon somebody being fraudulent or lying or putting out bad information, I will certainly be concerned about that. If the person making the claims tends to be a competitor, that only makes me look a little deeper at what they're saying. I don't take what they say for granted. I always do my own investigating. I found that a lot of the detractions against him were running along the same lines of, well, he stages his show. Well, yes, it's called television. Not to be too much of a smart aleck there, but that's what happens. Look, I'm an instructor, okay? When I come in there and if I'm going to do a hand-to-hand combat class, here's a newsflash: I'm not actually killing the guy that I'm stabbing with the blue rubber knife. It's staged. Okay, now if I want to really add to the class and make it really good, I might put on a little skit in the beginning and I pretend to stab him. I haven't ever done that because I'm afraid somebody in the audience might jump up and try to stop me and hurt me in the process. Bad. Okay, so let's jump down into this with both feet. The first thing I thought when I opened it up was, oh cool, look, haha, the handle goes on here. Well, no, it's really not. So, darn, man. So if you're with Gerber and you're watching this, if you could make that happen by making a couple of adjustments, that would be really cool. You could market that as an extra feature, but it doesn't, so that's too bad. On the outside, it's got the International Morse code for distress, which is da 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 da. My dad was a signalman in the Navy. That's why I don't say dot 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 dash 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 dot dot dot. Okay, so this is a Kydex plastic, and you can hear that. It's pretty thick. It's kind of like the Kydex you'll get on a lot of your knife sheaths. And it's got a weep hole in the bottom, so it won't fill up with water and just sit there in your rucksack and rust everything out. And it's got a little bit of a grippy, and that's what Gerber calls it on their website, a grippy surface, so it's not going to slide out of your hands if you're trying to open this and your hands are wet. And of course it has the Gerber logo. The actual sharpener itself. The actual sharpener has a grippy rubber on the end, different than Kydex plastic. This is a rubber, so it's a little bit easier to hold on to. I like that. It has a lanyard hole in here, which will hold a piece of parachute cord nicely, as I shall now demonstrate. And ta-da! Okay, perfect. See, I thought back when I was a paratrooper that this stuff was designed for parachutes, but in reality it was a survival tool that we adapted to use on parachutes. I'm just kidding. It's one of those things that somebody discovered the genius of it after it was developed for that purpose. It works good on parachutes too. Never had it fail. There are essentially 4 sharpening edges on this knife. These are rubber grips here. These are not sharpening edges. These are for you to hold on to while you're using either of the diamond grit steel coated or steel coated diamond grit grit coated sharpening blades. There, I got it out finally. Gosh, these are designed for your sheep's foot, and they will work on Leatherman or Gerber, as well as a number of other sheep's foot, even saw edge type blades. And that being said, this is a diamond grit coating. It is not a pure diamond grit rod. That means that it has a limited life. It's going to eventually wear out. Interestingly, this diamond grit rod, the smaller one, lines up with these grooves on both my Leatherman and my Gerber and rotates, but this does not. All right. I don't know why. That means essentially the back side of this diamond grit is not useful. If this is a flaw in the actual design, I would wish somebody would correct me. But I've tried monkeying with it and trying to loosen it up, and it doesn't seem to really alter it. It seems to be really fixed in there. Then we get down to the end, and this diamond grit's okay. It's not perfect. It's going to be good enough, and that's what we're looking at on this tool. This is not like the Cadillac of knife sharpeners, but for the $12 you can get it for, it's more in the Volkswagen, and it is a Volkswagen. It's priced like a Volkswagen, and it is a Volkswagen. Okay, we have 2 edges on here. Now I know there are some real purists out there who are going to have a conniption fit that I'm saying that any of these draw-through sharpeners ever work, and it shall not be but 600 grit, as they would tell you. Well, this actually works pretty good, and I'm going to use it on this 440C steel blade, and I've got a review up on what the different steels made, and if you'll click on this little link over here, you hopefully will find, it'll take you to my treatise on what these numbers mean. 440C steel, 410 and 420C. This is actually 440A, I found out. They're all, they get dull quicker or lose their edge quicker, but they sharpen quicker. All right. And all you do is you place the blade between the 2 carbide tips, and you want to move your hand to the side, okay, whenever you do this. Sometimes I will just set this down. I have a draw-through sharpener on the back edge. It has a different type of configuration with 2 circular blades that I use whenever it's right by the back door, so whenever I go out in the field with my machete, it's right there, Okay. And this is how you sharpen. You'll get a kind of a roughish edge on there, and that works really good, especially if you're doing a lot of slicing type cutting. But you'll always want to finish that off, because if the edge is too rough, the chances of nicking it and damaging your blade are strong. That's why people who have spent a lot of money on a knife rightly have a little bit of an issue with a cheapy draw-through sharpener. This is more what you would see on one of these kitchen knife sharpeners than you normally see on a combat knife sharpener. That being said, Gerber has marketed a more robust version of this for the military, and I have yet to try it out. I don't know if I'll purchase it because it's around 50, 60 bucks, and it's a much bigger version of this. I don't know. I'll have a look. I get the military price, so I may get it less than 50. If I can get it for 12, I doubt it. But if I could have, I would have, and I would put it in my sear kit. All right, let's get down to brass tacks here then. Do I recommend it or not? For 12 bucks, if you're going to put it in your sear kit, yes. If you're going to use this on your workbench, no. It's really too small for using on your workbench. It's the diamond coated blades are going to wear out, and so it wouldn't last a week in my shop. But for the size and the price and the compactness, the fact that this can go inside of here and keep you from rubbing the edges off, for 12 bucks, it's not bad. If you can get it less, more power to you. I wouldn't pay a whole lot more than that for this, because it's really, then you're going to start asking the question, well, why didn't I just get this instead? So I recommend it for 12 bucks, okay? More than 12 bucks, not so much. I will probably throw this in with a good two-sided whetstone, and I'll find a good whetstone and I'll show you that I'm going to put with it. But for now, let's say Maineprepper says for 12 bucks it does not suck and it'll work. If I can find something better, cheaper, I will let you know. But until then, it's not a bad thing to have in there. And you need something, okay? Because if your knife goes dull, a dull knife and a dull axe and a dull tool of any kind are dangerous, because the blade will not go where you want it to when you're cutting. It will go into you, most likely, and sometimes in a place where you didn't really want it, which is most of the time with me. And the same with a dull axe. The other thing is, if your knife is sharp, it's going to take, or your edged weapon or your edged tool is sharp, it's going to take a lot less exertion to work with. You're better served when you're out in the field to constantly be stopping and pulling out your little sharpener, which is perfect for this to fit in your pocket, and keeping the edge on here. Make a few cuts, make a few swipes, make a few cuts, make a few swipes. Keep this thing sharp, keep this knife sharp, and you will find that you're using less energy and you're doing better work. Also, by keeping things sharp, you are being safer, because you're not going to have a deflection as you're cutting or chopping come back and hit you, which is most likely what happens, or damaging what you were working on. Let me tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than to be working on something out in the field and making a very intricate little snare, and on the last cut you break it because you had a dull knife. Folks, this has been the Maineprepper. Thanks for dropping in. There's always light on for you. There's always a fire in the stove, some coffee on the pot, and cornbread if you get here early in the morning. Thank you so much for coming by. It's been my pleasure to have you over. Goodbye.